Hey guys, so today we're going to learn about something called dimensional analysis, and you're going to record your notes and practice on page 26. Our focus question is, how can we convert a value or measurement into different units? And throughout the video, make sure you remember you can always rewind if you need to see something again. So here's a problem that we can use to learn this skill. So imagine you go to the movies, you have a bag of nickels, you have 120 nickels, you want to buy your favorite candy, Sour Patch Kids. One box of Sour Patch Kids costs $3 and you want to buy as many Sour Patch Kids as you can. You know that there are 20 nickels in $1. So the question is, how many boxes can you buy? There's a lot of information in this problem, so let's break it down. First, we notice that there's information given to us. We know that we're starting with 120 nickels, and we know that we're solving for how many boxes we can buy. There's also some really important information given to us in the middle of the problem. And these two pieces of information here in blue are what we're going to be working with in order to figure out how we can kind of convert a number of nickels into a number of boxes of candy. So in order to solve this problem, we need to think about something called equivalence. An equivalent is just a relationship between two units that are equal, because equivalent means equal. For this problem, there are two equivalents. One box of candy equals $3, and 20 nickels equals $1. Some other examples you might be familiar with are 12 inches equals 1 foot, and 100 pennies equals $1. So something that's really cool and really useful about equivalents is that they can be shown as a fraction equal to 1. So this is a really simple example, but 3 equals 3. So if you put 3 over 3, that's a fraction equal to 1. So in terms of our equivalent relationships we already looked at, we know that 12 inches equals 1 foot. And so here's different ways of seeing that those are equal. But if we put 12 inches over 1 foot, we know that it equals 1. So that's a fraction that we can make out of an equivalent relationship. So for this problem, here are two fractions we can make. It actually doesn't matter which number is on the top. You can put candy on top, dollars on bottom. You can put dollars on top, nickels on bottom. It doesn't matter, but we just have to remember that the fractions are equal to 1. So let's see how we can use this to help us go back and solve that initial problem. All right, so I've written out all the information here, the given, the want to know, and the equivalent relationships. So to start solving this problem, I'm going to write my given information over here, and I'm going to leave some space. You'll see why in a moment. But then I'm going to give myself a place where I can write my final answer. So ultimately what we want to do is convert this number of nickels into a number of boxes of candy. So remember how we can turn these equivalents into fractions? I'm going to multiply this value by the fraction I can make from this first equivalent relationship. And I'm going to put the nickels on the bottom. The reason being that when something's on the top and bottom of a fraction, I can cancel it out. So what I just did is I crossed out those units, which is called canceling the units. So now I'm left with dollars, and I have one more equivalent relationship. I'm going to put $3 on the bottom so that I can cancel dollars. And I know that $3 equals 1 box of candy. So look, this is a fraction equal to 1. It's supposed to be a 1. It's kind of a weird one. This is also a fraction equal to 1. So all we've really done is multiply this times 1 times 1. We haven't actually changed the value. All we did was change the units. And look, we were solving for boxes of candy. I have that unit on the top, so now I'm ready to calculate. So to multiply fractions, we multiply everything on the top, we multiply everything on the bottom, and we divide. So what we kind of have here is 120 times 1 over 20 times 3. And our units here are boxes. So I can just type this into my calculator as 120 divided by 20 times 3, because those are just ones. So this works out to be 2 boxes of candy, and that's how many boxes of candy we can make. So let's try another practice problem, just so that you can get the hang of this. All right, so practice problem number 2. You're having a party. You want to make some chocolate chip cookies for your friends. And so you buy a 5-pound bag of flour, and you know that it takes 1.5 cups of flour to make 12 cookies. So how many cookies can you make? And there are some helpful equivalent relationships here that we're going to use for our problem. All right, I want you to pause right now and see if you can solve this, converting 5 pounds of flour to number of cookies, and then I'll work on solving it with you. Okay, so I'm going to start the same way as I did before. 5 pounds of flour, and I want to know how many cookies I can make. So I'm going to first kind of walk you through all the different steps, and then we can see what it would look like as one. So a simple way to start, if you're not sure where to start, is I know ultimately I need to know how many cups of flour I have, but right now I know the pounds of flour. So you could just take 5 pounds of flour and just convert that, first of all, to ounces of flour. So 1 pound equals 16 ounces. And then to do that, I would take 5 times 16. So I'm going to do that on my calculator real quick. Okay, so this could be a good place to start, is just by figuring out that you have 80 ounces of flour. You could then convert that from ounces to cups by taking this equivalent relationship. 4.25 ounces is 1 cup of flour. To solve this, I would take 80 divided by 4.25. And I would figure out that in this bag, I have 18.824 cups about. So I could keep going like this, or I could just do it in one step. So let's see what it looks like to do it in one step. All right, so 1 pound is 16 ounces, and 4.25 ounces is 1 cup of flour, and I could cancel units as I go. And I know that 1.5 cups gives me 12 cookies. And so I can put in my calculator 5 times 16 times 12. That's from the top of the fraction. And I can then put all of that over everything that's on the bottom here. And this is on the top because that's just 5 over 1, but we don't need to have that there. So the bottom would have 1 times 4.25 times 1.5. So you can go ahead and put that into your calculator, and let's see what that works out to be. I'm just going to simplify it here because I don't have a scientific calculator in front of me. 5 times 16 times 12 is 960. And 1 times 4.25 times 1.5 is 6.375. So 960 divided by 6.375 is, you can make about 151 cookies if you round up, because it works out to be 150.59. So we can round up about 151 cookies. So that is our answer to that problem. So what I would like for you to do is, if you need to rewatch any part of this video, go ahead and do that. We are going to be working tomorrow on more practice problems. And so if you have some burning questions, if there's a part of this process that's really confusing to you right now, make sure you write down that question so that we can go over it tomorrow in class, and you'll have tons of time to practice when you come tomorrow. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.